So after playing about 15 hours of Tunic, I can confidently say it's one of my favorite indie games in recent memory. Tunic is an action-adventure game that draws heavy comparisons to Legend of Zelda, and you can easily tell the creator was very inspired by this. The game's art direction is absolutely adorable and fantastic, but what's hidden behind this is a really difficult game. A game that offers little to no direction. And for some people, this is going to be a make or break. Tunic throws you directly into this. You wake up on this shore, and that's it. You get started. A lot of the game's text is often in a completely different language, so you couldn't even understand it. So you're left wandering around finding chests. There's going to be paths that are blocked off until you get certain weapons and you'll have to come back later. But it's all in service of something really great, so I definitely think it pans out in the end. Now again, let me reiterate this. Tunic is pretty difficult. I see people comparing this to something like Dark Souls. It's definitely not that difficult, but it has its moments. Let's start with a few things that I really liked. And first up, the combat. I think it takes about an hour to an hour and a half before you fully get your sword and shield equipped, but once that's taken place, this game gets really fun. The combat is pretty simple but effective. You've got your dodge and roll mechanic. You lock onto enemies and use your sword and shield. And then you also have parries, which are very difficult to perform. There's a lot of different enemy variety in this game, which I think absolutely worked in its favor. Now, what this game shines in most is its puzzles, because there's a freaking ton of them. And what's even cooler about this game is pretty much even from the beginning, you could perform all of these puzzles and go to many different places. But you're not told that, and you've got to figure that out. Throughout this game, there's going to be different pages of a broken manual that you're going to have to find and piece together. Later in the game, it's going to finally click that all of your answers actually reside in this manual. They'll show you maps of different areas that have different secrets in there. It'll show you where those secrets are, different enemy types, and how to beat those enemies. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some absolutely ridiculous puzzles on here that even I couldn't figure out through the manual. But again, I'm pretty sure every single secret answer resides in that manual, so that's really cool. There's not an insane amount of weapon variety here, but there definitely is enough to keep you engaged. I don't want to spoil anything that comes in the late game, but there is upgrades and abilities that you'll get that will definitely be game changers. I also really liked all the boss battles. I think there's about 4 or 5 in total, and they all have their unique locations. They've got a unique soundtrack, and I just think they were really well designed. Personally, I never really struggled much on any of the boss battles, but I definitely see how this could be a real struggle for people, because some of these are tough. Of course, the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic as well. All in all, I had an absolute blast playing Tunic, and I would rate it an easy 9 out of 10. Especially for only $30 right now, I highly recommend you go pick up Tunic. It's out on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. If you've played Tunic, let me know what you think.